Oh, man. Bad news for boxing fans. Terence Crawford's current promoter, Bob Arum, says that although Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter is a great fight, he's not quite sold because it's not a big fight. We're going to talk about all that and more on this channel. Shawn Porter just recently called out Terence Crawford, says he's the mandatory and he's down. But Bob Arum, according to the latest interview, he's not really sold on that fight. Bad news for boxing fans. Smash the like button and stay tuned.
So obviously you fought him September 2019, didn't you?
Yeah,
I know
buddy.
that you. I know that you said that you're the mandatory for that title.
Yeah.
You're expecting that fight. Are you expecting it as your next fight?
I'm expecting it as my next fight.
What if that's not to come until the summertime then?
Well, I mean, it's already been said. I'm the mandatory for the WBO. Amazing fight with Terence Crawford, or the winner of this, Errol Spence Jr., who has the WBC and the IBF title.
Which do you prioritize?
I kind of prioritize, Terence Crawford, for the simple fact that you have not seen me in the ring with Terence. You've seen what happened with Errol Spence Jr. It's about coming back, fixing some wrongs, and beating him. But I think with Terence Crawford, whole new story, a whole bunch more conversation that has not been had yet, and that's why I favor that one. However, the way he looked tonight, you let me know when you're ready to go.
We had Terence Crawford here on the show recently. And during our talk, he said that you and him had a conversation.
Yeah.
He said you guys talked personally.
Yeah.
My question is, why hasn't then a Crawford versus Porter fight happened?
The point in time when I called him, it was just before I had gotten it might have been just after I found out that I was going to fight for Miller. When I spoke with Crawford, it was back in maybe early July, right around there. And I just, simple conversation. Hey, are we going to do this or what? What's going on? You know, and then we had our conversation. Basically, he says, hey, man, I'm working on something big right now. And I said, all right, I'm going to respect it. I'm not going to step on your toes, man. Make it happen. Whatever it is, make it happen. I don't think at that point in time it was Kell Brook that he was working on. But he said he was working on something big, and the respect that I have for him and also his career, I said, all right, I'm going to let you do what you do. I said, hey, man, I know they're about to line me up with somebody, and you're better than the dude, and I just wanted to see if we can make it happen. And that's it. You know, simple as that. We have not had a conversation about fighting each other since early July, late July, and maybe we'll come back around after this fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia.
What did you think then of Bob Arum? Bob Arum coming out and basically saying, look, I can't make money off of promoting Terence Crawford. It's just I lose too much money. What did you think about him making it public? And, you know, hey, look, when Terence was on the show, he even said, you know, hey, it's a business decision. My deal with Top Rank is up over next year. And if I have to get these big-time fights with these guys, you never know. I may be a member of the PBC.
And he's going to make a business decision, and he's going to do what's best for him. I mean, people don't understand this, but when I called him and talked to him in July or whatever, we were on the phone for 30 minutes to almost an hour, and it wasn't just talking about boxing. We were talking about our lives, our families. Like, we have a genuine friendship, and I respect that and appreciate that, which is why I'm going to, with anybody else, I'll get in the ring and call you out. If you're Danny Garcia, I'll show up in your backyard if you're Errol Spence Jr. But with him, I just really appreciate him as a person. So when we talked, it was not just about boxing. So I know him. I'm just saying that to say I know him. When it comes time for him to extend his contract with Top Rank or decide whatever he's going to do, he's going to make a business decision based on what's best for his career and what's best for his family. I definitely can see him making a move to PBC because this is where the money can be made and this is where the biggest fights can be made. If you're Bob Arum, I got a feeling Bob Arum is understanding that he may be ready to make that move. And because it's going to happen, I'm just going to say how I feel. I don't think he should do that. I think anybody who's wanting to keep their client, they're going to wine and dine their client and do whatever it takes to keep their client. So I got a feeling Bob knows what's going to happen. I think Bob's just going to take some shots anyway because he feels like the inevitable is going to happen. However, I don't feel that what he said was right. I don't agree with it. All those type of things you keep in house. You never let that kind of stuff out, because once it gets out, now you and I are talking about it. Everybody's going to talk about it. And now if Terence Crawford decides to stay with Top Rank, now you got to mend all of these different things that you've said. That's going to be the topic of discussion. Nobody's going to talk about, oh, he stayed with Bob. Everyone's going to talk about why he stayed with Bob. Why is he staying with you? You know, so I think that I really do have a feeling that Bob is like, hey, the inevitable is about to happen. Let me just take these shots anyway. But it's something I think he should have left at home.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We work in Cash App, $ Boxing Ego. Often imitated, never duplicated. Let's get it. Bad news for boxing fans. You guys heard the clips at the beginning. Link in the description. Shawn Porter had called out Terence Crawford. I made a video about this. He's also the mandatory for Terence Crawford, WBO champion. And we got this information just in from Crawford's current promoter, Bob Arum of Top Rank, longtime promoter. And the fight may not happen. Bob Arum did an interview with The Athletic. Link in the description. Bob Arum says Errol Spence is hiding behind Al Haymon and doesn't want Crawford. So that's the title of the article. It says, I'm going to chill on my ranch. That's the Errol Spence quote, etc. And he says something very interesting in this. In this article, he says, quote, if he made one call, we could get the contracts done in 10 minutes, Arum said. We want to make that fight, meaning Spence and Crawford. But again, it takes two to tango. Spence is hiding behind Al Haymon. We're going to see what happens. Right now, to do another Terence Crawford fight during the pandemic is upon us, makes no sense. So immediately after suggesting that Spence and Crawford could be done in 10 minutes, but we'll see if that happens because Spence is quote-unquote hiding behind Al Haymon. Listen to what he says. We're going to see what happens right now. To do another Terence Crawford fight during the corona is upon us. It makes no sense. Basically, Bob Arum saying he's already said he's losing money off Terence Crawford and he's not going to continue to do so. He says, so we're talking about late April, May at the earliest. So we have time to figure it out. Right now, hopefully the PBC will send word that they are tired of losing money and they want to go and do the fight on a 50-50 basis, which I've already talked about. So Bob Arum is saying that Errol Spence should do a 50-50 deal with Crawford. I've already talked about this. I don't think that Crawford has the leverage here, but let's keep going. Spence told The Athletic last month he believes that his track record of pay-per-view success, among other things, qualifies him to earn the higher share, right? Terence Crawford, after Errol did this interview, specifically said, if it's 60-40 and I'm not the guy getting the 60, then it's a non-starter, right? Then it's a non-starter. This is all what Crawford said. So it's looking a little bit, if I'm being honest, shaky for Crawford. Now, what was discussed next in this Athletic interview, again, link in the description, is mind-boggling. You guys heard the clip at the beginning. Porter called out Crawford, and we'll read it. It says, the article says, if Spence isn't Crawford's next opponent, another option is former welterweight champion Shawn Porter. On Saturday's broadcast, which I played at the beginning, Porter, who fought Spence to a close decision loss in September of last year in the Athletics Fight of the Year, stated his case, basically called out Terence Crawford. You guys see what it says. Bob Arum isn't sold. it says Bob Arum isn't sold on the Porter fight. And in closing, it says Bob Arum isn't sold. Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter, it is a great fight, but it's not a big fight. It's not a fight that really piques the imagination of the sports fan like Crawford versus Spence does. Anything else is anticlimactic, like Danny Garcia and Errol Spence was. So he says they're not interested basically in a Porter fight because it's anticlimactic. So if it ain't Errol, then it's bad. Man, this is a bad look. This is a bad look for Crawford. You know, Crawford claims to be 60-40 with Errol Spence. Your promoter said he's losing money. He just now went to The Athletic, did an interview on his 89th birthday. That's when it was published. So he basically said he's losing money on you in your fights. It's not lucrative. Now he just came out and said that it doesn't make sense to have another one of your fights during the pandemic with no live gate. So basically he's overpaying you. You're losing him money. And during the pandemic, he don't want to keep eating the cost. And now after Shawn Porter has called him out, and that's his mandatory, the article says Arum isn't sold and that's not the highest priority on their list. It's a great fight, but it's not a big fight. And he says it'll be anticlimactic like Danny Garcia and Errol Spence, which I thought was a good fight. And I thought it was a fun fight. Man, this is not good. Bad news for fans. I thought Spence Garcia, I think that's a great fight. I don't know why Bob Arum doesn't like it. I mean, I think I know, but I'll save that for another video. But you guys heard it. Shawn Porter is calling out Crawford. Shawn Porter also dropped some gems. He said that he believes that Bob Arum may just be saying whatever because he thinks Crawford could be leaving to the PBC, which is certainly a possibility. But all in all, it's going to be a lot of pressure on Crawford to see what his next move is. You know, he's a great fighter, a tremendous fighter. But it's just mind-boggling what we're hearing. It really is. How can Bob Arum say that Shawn Porter is a great fight but not a big fight, but Crawford just fought Mean Machine last year in December? So a year ago, he's fighting Mean Machine, and that was okay. But Shawn Porter, who is a game-bred dog and just called you out and is your mandatory, and he just called you out again, you know what I mean? And this has been done in the past. And he said he even had a conversation and Crawford had something brewing. And then you discount Shawn Porter saying it's not a big fight. But Mean Machine and Amir Khan, and people didn't believe in Khan's chin. In this interview, Instagram Live from Terence Crawford, he literally says, quote, people thought I would lose some of my fights, but against Amir Khan, they knew I was going to, quote, whitewash him. That's what he said. So he admits in this Instagram Live that people didn't have confidence in Amir Khan being able to beat him. And now Bob Arum is pretty much shunning or turning down what I believe is to be a great fight and a fight that makes a lot of sense. Wow. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see what Crawford decides, but it's not looking good option-wise if he stays. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.